sound like I'm making an apology video. Hey everybody, it's I Like Crunchy Tortillas. I hope you all are doing well. I'm starting off just sitting on the couch using my tripod. Found it, by the way. To just kind of just chat for a second. Maybe do a little bit of just like a little, day in my life vlog or something. So, I know I've mentioned it in previous videos, most likely, but I haven't talked about it too much in depth, because I try to keep myself a private person, but I don't really have a community or anybody to really talk to or freak out about, too, essentially. So I guess I'll just kind of start from the beginning. So essentially, I have been having a lot of issues with my health. And it's been a lot since I moved to the place that I moved. I've had 5 surgeries within the span of a year. And then I'm about to possibly have a 6th one. I'm hoping that I'm just freaking out over nothing. And the previous surgeries have nothing to really do with this one. But I found out that I have a 2-centimeter mass in my upper spine. Yeah, I have a 2-centimeter mass in my upper spine. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's worrisome, obviously. So essentially, a few weeks ago, I got a call in the middle of the night from my doctor, who I hadn't seen in like a month or two, because I was tired. I had to deal with getting my wisdom teeth removed and then having to have an additional surgery after that to get rid of infected tissue. And so I just was out of it. My body was already kind of fried from trying to recover from doctor's appointments and all of these other things, and trying to deal with the fact that I found it really hard to eat when I was recovering from that. But I got a phone call in the middle of the night, saying, hey, you know that MRI that you did like over 2 months ago? Well, I finally looked at it, and we didn't find anything we were looking for, but we did find something by accident. And that accident was a 2-centimeter mass in my either upper thoracic or lower cervical spine. That's one thing to get in the middle of the night. And, I wanted to talk about options, like, what could this be? Like, do I have bone cancer, right? And they said that it was 2 likely options, but there was one that was more than the other. The first option is that I had a bone spur growing on my spine. But according to my doctor, bone spurs don't get bigger or as big as 2 centimeters. That would be too big. The second option was what was the word? An osteoblastoma, I believe. I don't remember what the actual word is. I haven't looked at it. I did all my research initially in the very beginning, so I'm not like privy on everything fresh in my mind at the moment. But essentially, it was most likely a bone tumor. And what's good about this about these types of bone tumors? They are primarily on the spine. It is very well known. They can also appear in the jaw, other parts of the body, but so far only the spine. But the majority of the time they are benign, which is really cool. And I was like, oh, well, that's great. It's only gonna be, it's benign. It's fine. Like, I don't have to worry about this right now. You know, like I can just kind of relax. You know, I've had 5 surgeries within a span of a year. I don't want any more. You know, me and my spouse were hoping that 2026 would just be our break. You know, no more medical issues. Like, I've been in and out of the hospital more times than I can count, and I'm very lucky that I've been able to do that. You know, I know it may be somewhat of an unfortunate situation, but I am very privileged to be able to go to the hospital willy-nilly while I'm learning about whether the pain that I'm feeling is chronic pain or if it's an actual emergency. And I've gotten better at that, luckily. But, you know, I was like, oh, that's great. You know, they're mainly benign. There's no issue with that. But then there was the caveat. I would have to have surgery. Because even if it is benign, they still grow. Most of the time they only grow up to, hi baby. Most of the time they only grow to about 4 centimeters. But there are other times that they can grow even bigger. And with it being on my spine, it is a very big concern. And my doctor, honestly, like, was really upset for me too. They've been with me since I've began all the surgeries, all the everything, you know. So it's just a thing, like, of a genuine sorrow that came from them of saying, I'm sorry, but you're going to need surgery to get rid of this. That is the only thing that can really get rid of it. And I'm like, well, great. Great, we love that. And obviously, I go down the rabbit hole. If I have surgery on my spine, am I going to get paralyzed? What if it actually turns out to be cancerous? How do, like, you know, all of this other stuff. Like, my spouse is going to have to pick up all the housework all over again. Because, like, we were finally getting into the groove of things. I finally started, like, literally that day, I finally decided to start a routine. And I felt like my entire life was getting disrupted again. Because every time something like this has happened, it's been so disrupting. I'm not good with sudden news or sudden changes. And it was just a lot. I thought that I was essentially going to have to do my regular routine and just sit on the couch or rot in the bed and just not do anything until it's better. But luckily, I think I'm just having a change of mindset, you know? But, yeah. My daughter's hungry, hold on. But, yeah. So, essentially, I found out that I might have a bone tumor. And so what am I planning to do about that? Well, sorry, I'm moving my tripod. Well, I decided I'm not going to let it hold me down. Nothing is confirmed. Nothing is certain. So, I am just going to continue living as if nothing has happened yet. Because why should I stress out about a possibility of something? I've lived my life like that for too long, and that has taken me away from too many opportunities. I was gonna say something else. But, you know, I do go down the rabbit hole sometimes. Like, luckily, the fear of something going wrong is less than 1% when it comes to spinal surgery. But, you know, obviously there is that part of me that feels like something's going to go wrong. And then, yeah, next steps that I've taken so far is I've gotten an MRI, which sucked. Had to lay still for tests to actually confirm if it's a tumor or not, for 45 minutes, and I found out that my body does not like that. My spouse had to physically come in and scoop me up from the table afterwards and then sit with me while I try to get my body moving again. Because when you're in an MRI, you have to stay as still as possible. And according to them, I was very lucky because essentially I essentially I could have been in there for 5 hours instead of 45 minutes. So I'm very grateful that I wasn't. But yeah. Now today I'm going to be going to the doctor. I have a surgery consult and we're going to confirm to see if it's a tumor and if I need to get a biopsy to see if it's cancerous or not. And I guess I will update you in regards to that later. So, yeah. So this isn't actually a post-appointment update. This is more so just what dealing with the healthcare system is like. So they tried to reschedule me. Apparently, my primary care provider put down the wrong surgical provider for me. I specifically requested a female doctor, because not all male doctors are bad, but I've had way too many bad experiences. So I guess there was just a scheduling conflict, so they were like, hey, we need to reschedule you for this guy on a different day. And I'm like, no. I'm disabled. I can't make my husband, call off again. He already called off multiple weeks in advance for this appointment. I cannot have this happen. I need to be seen today. And she's like, okay, hold on. And she's like, okay, well, you could have the same provider, but it'll have to be on a different day. And I'm like, no, I am disabled. My husband is already in trouble at work. I cannot do this. I can't. Either I get it done today or I can't do it at all for another few weeks. And I want to find out if I have a tumor in my spine that could kill me. So, I was like, no, I'm sorry. It needs to be today. I'm so sorry. I can't, I've already had 5 other surgeries before this. This is going to be my 6th one within the span of a year. I cannot do this right now. I can't. And so the woman, thank goodness, is so sweet. And I'm able to see that provider today. And then again, I know not many people are lucky to have that happen. And I'm so happy. But I'm reeling from the emotions because it's just, I have autism. I've been mentally preparing for this appointment since before I had my MRI. So I'm just I'm trying to calm myself down. But I'll be better. I'm gonna probably just go eat a lot of food or something. But yeah, the healthcare system sucks. It's like, what do you mean? Why did, gotta love it when your doctor doesn't tell you what provider you got. If I knew, I would have not have been caught off guard or something, or maybe I would have dealt with it, but it's just whew. Anyway, that's the update for right now. Haven't had my appointment yet, but luckily I get to still have my appointment today. Normally I wouldn't speak out about mistakes like that. I would have just rolled over and just okay, fine. But nope, not anymore. I'm done with having all these issues. So I'm gonna be a helicopter now, and I will end this. I'm gonna end this update, and I'll see you after my appointment. Hopefully I look better, but I might look worse, so bye. Hey guys, it's next day. I was just pooped after my doctor's appointment. But I guess a good little update. So far, they don't know yet. I have to get a biopsy. Now, luckily nothing's pressing in on my spine or anything. Nothing is affecting me too bad. So it's just honestly a thing of, I guess a waiting game, essentially, seeing if it grows or not, seeing if I can actually get the biopsy, and if I can't, then I'm just gonna have another CT scan in a few months to see how it goes. But I guess I'll just keep you guys updated. I don't know if I'm even gonna post this video. I don't want to seem like I'm being over dramatic or something. It's just nice talking to someone. So, yeah. I want to say, and I'm gonna just try this as an outro, I guess. Stay crunchy.